Continuing on to what may be the last stop on the retro nostalgia train for a little bit, Ocarina of Time was made in 1998, alongside such greats as Metal Gear Solid, Half-Life, Banjo-Kazooie. Wow, there's actually a lot of great games that were released in 1998, but damn does my back hurt all of a sudden. But Ocarina was widely requested, and I was curious to know how this game would hold up on a DDR pad. So here we are. This won't be a 100% completion, as things like Poe hunting and the Happy Mask Salesman don't really give me anything, and the reward for 100 Skulltulas isn't even good. My scheme at the start was pretty simple. I knew there would be at least two layouts, one for main gameplay, and the other for any instances of non-time pertinent gameplay, such as the pause menu or playing the ocarina. So the first layout had your expected directions, with A and B on the back left and back right. If I held down the button A was on, it would press C left. And my top right button had Z targeting as a tap, and if I held it for half a second, I'd whip out the old shield to block. The top left button would lead to a second layout, which has the start menu as well as C up, C down, and C right. Initially, I felt C up was necessary, but in all honesty, its only use here is to play the ocarina. I've learned to just threaten Navi as a coping mechanism. This problem. Go away, Navi. I don't need you. Shut up, Navi. I'm gonna pluck the wings off of all of your family. Hey, Navi. I'm gonna drown you and your family if you don't shut the fuck up. Was that a bit too aggressive? I very quickly realized that I need a way to hold down Z targeting. Without it, I won't be able to side hop or backflip without targeting an enemy, which will make wanting to move fast in some areas extremely unlikely. After buying the shield and bragging to Mido about how special we are, the Deku Tree speaks in Old English so much that he bores himself to sleep and he makes a big yawn, which lets me go in and tussle with whatever's up inside the big guy's tummy. The first Deku Scrub lets me test my 2-in-1 button, tapping to Z target him and then holding that same button to hold R and block with the shield. After getting the slingshot, I test the other layout that I chose, C left. This lets me hold down C left and aim in first person while also navigating with the D-pad, and gives me the ability to cancel in case I need to readjust without shooting any ammunition. Z targeting enemies with a slingshot works, and I use the Z tap to adjust camera to line up movement. So from here, on the top floor, I gird up my loins, aim the camera forward, and jump to break through the spiderweb below me. It was here that I realized I should never try to catch fog, because I missed. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Please remember to tip your waitress. Thanks. After breaking through the spider web, I need to remember Smitty Werben Jägerman Jensen because he was number 1. This next room shows a flaw with my original setup because I can't hold dive, as C left is set to be held with this same button. A quick edit moved C left to my left bumper where I would also swap layout. This lets me hit the switch in the water and then move forward with the dungeon, and the rest of my layout will let me swap to items, grab blocks, and I eventually meet up with Goma in about 50 minutes. My first attempt at multi-move combat was a bit clunky, but it gave me some ideas and things to avoid in the future. Watching for mechanics is important for many bosses, and many enemies will only do certain attacks when they're within a certain proximity to Link. Goma and Dead Hands both follow this pattern, and I need Goma to lunge for me so I can shoot it in the eye to stun it. After Z targeting, I expected my attacks to slowly move Link forward when in reality, I need to hold up while locked onto an enemy to move closer to them. Trying to shoot Goma on the roof is a bit difficult, so I resigned myself to killing babies before stunning and stabbing her to death. Exiting out of the Deku Tree, I get asked if I want to listen to approximately an hour's worth of exposition. I don't want to listen. Why did you ask me if I wanted to listen if you're forcing me to listen? I get the Kokiri's Emerald and head off to Kakariko. Oh, hey, I have an ocarina. All right, time to head off to Kakariko. Good grief, I hate Kapora Gabora. Okay, finally, it's time to head to You know, I just realized I need to go talk to Zelda first. All right, the drawbridge is down. Let's head to Hyrule Castle. And dude, it's the pot smashing game. Let's go! Alrighty, I play some Zelda Gear Solid, commit property damage, get Zelda's Lullaby, and I'm escorted out of the castle. Okay, that's done. We are going to Kakariko Village to throw chickens. The AI of the birds actually got me frustrated as I kept chasing them, and their random movements regularly pathed them right through me. So I found the safest option was to wait for them to idle in front of me, and then I can grab them. My experiences on the previous day caused me to swap A and B to what they natively are on controller. I honestly have no idea why I did the swap to begin with. But I did note that I needed Z targeting to be both tapped and held. So I made anti-micro, so that wow, my voice went really high, haha. I made it. If I double tap the center button, I will Z target and it will stay as long as I'm holding the button down. I spend my next bit of time collecting Skulltulas, learning Epona's song, Saria's song, the Sun song, getting the free Hylian shield, and tactically earning a bottle from Talon. Definitely not cheesing it by throwing all the wrong chickens into a corner of the room before I even start the event. So the only chickens that I see are the ones I need to pick up. Another thing I get to fiddle with is practicing my 6 speedrun strats with the newly implemented Z-hold. Cause then he freaks the fuck out. He's like, oh my god, this is really great. I love this music. In Dodongo's cavern, the first pair of Lizalfos aren't too bad, but my health gets a bit low and nothing was dropping any hearts, so I went outside to get my 4th heart piece. This required simply holding down Z targeting and backflipping off where the bomb flower is at. This way I don't even need to plant beans here. Dodongo himself wasn't too much trouble as I stand on the inside of the landmass that surrounds the lava pit, and this keeps Link safe. The Goron's ruby is now mine, and I'm no longer an only child. Brother. Earlier on, I got the Hylian shield, but young Link can't wield it like he could the Deku shield. But what he can do is fetal position his way up Death Mountain to one of the Great Fairies. After that, I get another Great Fairy at Hyrule Castle for Din's Fire. On the way back from the castle, I play Bombchu Bowling for a heart piece.
So if I remember this mini, oh, that's a big chicken.
And inherit some responsibilities.
I can't take care of the dog. I'm just a kid.
Before finally heading towards Zora's domain, stopping off to buy some beans. Before entering Lord Jabu Jabu, the king of the Zoras traumatizes me just a little bit.
Never noticed he has eyes. He's blinking. Every scoot, he's blinking. And this greatly disturbs me.
The hardest room in Jabu Jabu was the timed bubble room, but then I remembered that the best weapon I could possibly use is my own sexy body.
Drop it.
The Baronade took a bit of work, as I could only get rid of 1 jellyfish per rotation, which made the fight drag on, but we still win the fight and get Zora's Sapphire. The only downside with this is now Link is engaged. Don't tell Saria, she'll be so oh no. Okay, don't tell Zelda, because she'll be so well, I guess Link can settle with Ruto when they're finally of age and it'll be oh no. Well, I accidentally happen across another Great Fairy and pick up an ability that I never used back in the day, but my goodness, is this a lifesaver for dungeons. But more on it when I use it. After spending 45 minutes in the graveyard for a heart piece, I head forward in time. From here on out, if there are any gold Skulltulas or heart pieces that made their way into my path, just assume I acquired them. I'm not going to outline each and every one, just the difficult heart pieces. I came into this expecting some rough dungeons, but it turns out that younger me was just an idiot for most of this game. Starting with the Forest Temple, I come to this multi-floored room with an eyeball above the door. This eyeball will twist or untwist the room that is beyond it when you hit it. What I didn't know when I was a wee lad was that Furor's Wind, that skill I was talking about a little while ago, is super useful for eliminating confusing backtracking. By using it, I'll create a checkpoint at my location, and then if I use it in any dungeon, it will teleport me back here. So I make use of Furor's Wind for the first time here and enter through the door, continuing on through the dungeon. Possibly the most difficult part of this dungeon is the room where Link gets the bow, fighting 3 Stalfos, which require 3 jump slashes each to die. The first one isn't a problem aside from needing to not accidentally fall down the hole, but the pair of Stalfos need to die within a short time frame of each other, otherwise the dead one will revive. Thankfully they attack one at a time, so I jump slash one of them twice and then swap target to the other one. This way I can jump slash this one 3 times and then just do 1 jump slash to the previous one to kill them both within a short time frame. After getting the fairy bow and killing the first 2 Poe sisters, I cast Furor's Wind to go back to that winding door from before and then shoot the eyeball switch to straighten the hallway out and grab the boss key. Fighting Phantom Ganon, Phase 1 is pretty easy to keep track, as the brighter Ganon on the paintings is the real one. After getting him a few times, Phase 2 starts, and my horrible timing has me losing the ping pong tournament early on. But as soon as I'm brought to one measly heart container, I turn it all around and I finish the Forest Temple in a little under an hour. Heading towards the Fire Temple, I get saved from becoming a ritual sacrifice by a cutscene where Donald Duck learns the Bolero of Fire. Roar's Wind makes another appearance in the Megaton Hammer room, just in case I fall off to the right instead of the left. The first two corners got me a couple times on this race, but after passing them and taking a small pause to change my camera location with Z-Target, the Megaton Hammer is mine. I eventually find the pillar that I need to release in order to reach Volvagia, and what do I do with this pillar?
I'll smash it with a hammer!
Fighting Volvagia also needs the Megaton Hammer, and with it on C down, Volvagia is officially the first boss that I've ever fought start to finish that was not on my primary controller layout. The next Great Fairy is nearby, and then I need to stop off at the Ice Cavern for the Iron Boots. I head to Lon Lon Ranch, pay 10 rupees, and call Epona over. My version of Link is a comedian because when he first saw Epona, he asked why the long face, then proceeded to attempt remedying this situation. After hopping the two fences, Ingo will ask if I want to race for a 50 rupee wager. The first race is pretty easy, as you just need to wiggle into this first corner and bypass him. He'll offer up Epona for the second race as a double or nothing of sort, and this second race, Ingo cuts you off, and if he does it at just the right time, it will cancel out any boost that you use when you're behind him. Throughout the race, he'll ride in front of Link in order to prevent being overtaken. I tried to do what happened in the first race, but that didn't work, and I tried to trick him by running to the outside and try to bypass him by cutting a corner, but that didn't work either. So ultimately, I repeated what I did in the first race. Huh? Going back at it, I'm not even sure why it worked this time, but screw it, I've got Epona now, so yay! I learned the Prelude of Light from Sheik, who pulls a Vanishing Act.
Don't blind me with the...
And then start my time travel. And then I head to Lake Hylia, where I get the Scarecrow song, so I can summon Pierre when I need him.
I hate that it's so slow because it's going to the speed of my feet.
After more fishing, I procrastinated everything I wanted to do here, so it's time to do the Water Temple. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I watched a video of the Water Temple, and I took some light notes to tell me whether I needed to be on the bottom, middle, or top floor, and when I need to raise or lower the water. But even those notes could not prepare me for the real challenge of this dungeon, the start menu. My two controller layouts had most of my actions on layout 1, but the pause menu was on layout 2. So in order for me to navigate through some of these rooms, I had to press so many buttons to equip the iron boots, do what I needed to do underwater, and then unequip the iron boots to swim around or float to the top. Thankfully, my procrastination paid off for me. When I went fishing as an adult, I won the Golden Scale, which then allowed me to get the heart piece in the laboratory, as I could now dive all the way to the bottom of the pool. This meant that I no longer needed to hold the B button to dive, as the iron boots do all the sinking work for me. With this change, I can no longer hold B to grab something for pushing or pulling. I did put this onto layout 2, along with my C up button, as I'm gonna need to grab things a lot less often than I'm going to need to hit the start button, and if I need to climb on top of something, I can just tap the B button, so to me this was a worthy trade-off. The swirly room was the biggest inconvenience in this dungeon, needing to pause in order to swap to the iron boots, while timing when I'll be above the platform that I need to be standing on is one thing, but also needing to aim at the gem, then aim for the hookshot point on the wall within a time limit. It took a few tries, but as I said, inconvenient. The hardest challenge yet has arrived.
It's Dark Link.
After using Din's Fire as best as I could, I still had to stab Dark Link a few times, as he did avoid a couple of the fire attacks by backflipping. There's a way to kind of get inside of Dark Link, hot, and have Link's third up/ connect, but that involves wiggling closer to him between swings, and that's a lot of feet movement. I lost every fairy here, but I didn't game over, and the reward is the long shot, which doubles the hookshot distance. So I went back and headed for a path that I now can attempt with the long shot. I need to shoot this eyeball with an arrow arrow, and then I have a measly 5 seconds to long shot across before the gate closes back down. This brought back recent memories of the Lost Woods, where I was at the perfect level to not be able to hit the target. Lightly tapping up or down would put me either too low or too high above my target. Honestly, this terrified me because there's no way for me to change my elevation in order to aim at the hook shot. I can't hook shot from the water, and I can't hook shot from any other angle really. Thankfully, my double tap Z on center saved the day, as using this and then looking up or down will make Link slowly return back to center instead of making evenly spaced movements in first person view. Just don't tell anybody about this whole phase through the wall thing. It didn't happen, okay?
I won't tell if you won't.
The boss key is acquired, and Morpha? More like Mipha. From here, I head over to Kakariko Village, and it looks like climate change has caused a fire, and a whole lot of nothing dumpsters both me and Sheik. Sheik teaches me the Nocturne of Shadow, which I can use to teleport to the Shadow Temple, but we can't do that quite yet, because I've still got to get the Lens of Truth, and only young Link can fit where it's hidden. The Lens of Truth is guarded by a dead hand, which needs me to get grabbed to make the smiley fuck show up, and then I can bop him in the face. Once I've got the lens, I can be a big boy again and head on to the Shadow Temple. Another dead hand guards the hover boots, but he's significantly easier now that I can use the Master Sword. The hardest part of the dungeon layout is the first key door. This is a long hallway that descends with some Skulltulas hidden in the ceiling, followed by some guillotine blades, and that leads into a wide open room with even more guillotine blades. Until Link enters another door, falling into the abyss is going to send Link all the way back to the start of the hallway, which is just a depresso espresso. The butter boots are necessary to traverse the larger room, but I need to remember to keep moving forward when I want to move to another platform, or not get knocked off, or wait until my elevator is all the way at the top, or don't move too far backwards.
Don't you fucking you!
Or don't get hit in the back by guillotine blades. Bongo Bongo is a memorable boss to me. This Rayman wannabe needs to have both of his hands attacked within a short time frame of each other before I can get access to his weak point, which then needs to get shot by an arrow or hit with a well-timed sword attack so I can then wail on him. This fight was a long and grueling fight, pitting two polar opposites against each other, hands versus feet.
Really?
And so I start... Wait, I died? I died. Yep, I died. I got my first game over, which proves once and for all that hands actually are better than feet in this game. On my second attempt, I think I see the issue. I need to shoot him at the sweet spot, but at the sweet spot distance as well. If he's too far away or he's too up close, I'll hit his eyelid and it won't count. 6 fairies and 1 game over, and Bongo Bongo finally succumbs to the worst CC of all, arthritis of the health bar. The Spirit Temple needs a tiny bit of setup. The first bit is the main reason this game has the stealth tag on Twitch.
Link even holds his hands up.
I have to save some captured carpenters to fix a bridge, but if I'm spotted, I'm thrown into prison where I need to escape. These stupid idiots don't take anything on my person, so I can just hookshot out the window. The final carpenter's room has a Gerudo that changes her outfit and lipstick based on what tunic Link is wearing, so that's pretty cool. The next thing that needs to be done is to make it to the Desert Colossus where the temple is located. This is so I can get a song to teleport here as young Link, since in the past, the bridge is heavily guarded by the Gerudo. Before I go, I stop off and buy some more to plant near the Fire Temple and the Spirit Temple, and then I enter the Spirit Temple to get the silver gauntlets for Nabooru. Okay, well, they're my gauntlets now.
Like a belly button, I will be outie.
Entering the Spirit Temple as adult Link, probably the hardest room was this room with 3 Anubis. The flame pillar that I need to guide them into is right next to the switch, and falling in any of these locations is a lovely room reset. Playing the Song of Time causes a block to appear which will help kill one of the Anubises. Anubisi? Anubisi? Anubi? No, I'm the newbie. Moving on, killing everything in the room is necessary to progress forward, and eventually I run into the flipsy portion of this. I need to aim a continuous ray of sunlight at the face of this statue, and if the reflected beam doesn't stay on the statue's face, then I need to restart the entire process. Double tap Z comes in yet again for the save. If I block with Z targeting, it keeps Link standing instead of making him crouch. This just so happens to be enough height to aim directly at the statue's face.
Oh my god, I'm so happy.
Armored Nabooru is insignificant, and Twinrova follows the video game rule of 3s, and the final temple is donezo. With this last sage showing that Link got that mute riz going on, our sights are set towards the Temple of Time to get light arrows and then Ganon's castle. I have a bit of worry with the final boss, as I do recall him beating my ass a lot when I was younger, and while I know that younger me was an idiot, I did want to make sure that I was as prepared as possible for the fight coming up. So I gather all the sneaky heart pieces that I was missing. The 3 hardest heart pieces to get were the frogs that were on the way to Zora's domain, racing Dompe, and the Gerudo horseback archery contest. The first frog heart piece isn't hard, as I just need to play the top 6 songs and then make all the frogs big and strong. It's the second one that's the issue. With all of the frogs big, a butterfly will hover over each of the frogs in a specific order, and I need to play the corresponding button within a very strict time frame or I have to start over. Even after cutting Anti-Micro's delay in half for all of the buttons, I still was way too slow. So I made a 3rd controller layout just for the frogs. Sue me. Getting the heart piece from Dompe requires a finishing time of a minute or less, and as long as I don't run into any fire or roll into any walls, I can get a time of exactly 1 minute. The final heart piece that I was missing was the horseback archery. I can tap B to shoot an arrow immediately instead of needing to hold and string the arrow, so I knock out as many pots as I can and then just unload into the target that's on the ends of the pathway. 1,000 points is not difficult. With every heart container, I make my way to Ganon's castle. The shadow path has the golden gauntlets that are needed to lift up massive pillars.
Lift with your back. It's the biggest muscle.
And this also lets me access the final Great Fairy fountain that's just outside the castle. This Great Fairy cuts my damage received in half and gives a nice white outline on all my heart containers. From here, we clear out the last paths and start the Ganon fight. I personally feel that I did a ton of work in this game thanks to the Z button, but for the start of the fight,
Oh shit, that means I can't Z-target.
thankfully the first part of the fight involves ping-ponging like we did in the Forest Temple. But if you thought my timing got any better here, boy howdy do I have a bridge to sell you. Eventually, Ganondorf is defeated and we make our way to the final battle with Man-Bear Pig. Ganon's weak point is his beautifully colored tail, but without the Master Sword in Phase 1, Link needs to resort to light arrows. Thankfully, Ganon swings his sword in such a way that it turns his body to the side, and so Z-targeting him and then baiting him into attack, then strafing off to the side will leave his tail wide open for 1 arrow. One thing that I wasn't expecting is I didn't need to undo Z-target on his face to target the tail. I guess that it counts both his face and his tail as just one Man-Bear Pig, so if one is closer than the other, it'll swap automatically. This does negatively impact me in my first fight with him, and I don't notice right offhand as I was getting knocked off to the right that his attack starts off with his right hand swinging, meaning I should be strafing to the left for most of this fight. Not only did that sentence sound awful, but did you notice what I said? My first fight with him? Yeah, my second game over, yeah, it was right here. In beating myself up, I took note of his attacks and strafed left for a majority of the time to get all of the tail hits that I needed to finish Phase 1. Phase 2, Man-Bear Pig appears to get stunned for a length of time based on whatever item was used. Light arrows are best. So I shoot Man-Bear Pig in the face, draw the Master Sword, do a jump slash, and then back off and repeat. I had the perfect amount of magic necessary to give Man-Bear Pig a new hood ornament and end the Ocarina of Time. As the epilogue plays, I'm glad to finally beat Ocarina of Time because honestly, this game is not good on a DDR pad. The nostalgia fix is amazing at all, and the game itself is a masterpiece. But the game's design made this pretty boring for gameplay itself. Previous games such as Super Mario World had a timer, and Kirby and Metal Gear Solid have a really compact world where every scene and every zone has new perils. And while Ocarina of Time was great for its open living world, that does come at the cost of there being a whole lot of nothing for large portions of it. Aside from 3 or 4 overall rooms having a time limit, I can run up to a puzzle, stare at it and analyze it till I die of old age, and aside from the third Poe sister in the Forest Temple, you're given more than enough time. So I'm glad to say that I am done with Ocarina, and I can look towards the horizon for my next challenge, my first ever playthrough of Hollow Knight. What, you thought Undertale was going to be the only game I'd ever play blind? Do you want to see how I'm going to do Hollow Knight? Come join me on Twitch and heckle me or egg me on. Viewers will also have input on what challenges I do or what games I play next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my stream or in the next video. Hope you have a good one.
Anyone find it weird the Cocoa Puffs kept moving even though time stopped for me? The worst hero of time. I know, I'm so. Well, excuse me, princess. I hate these. Hey, I've got a secret for you. bombs blow up. Like, oh, thanks, buddy. No wonder why you got captured, you idiot. You thought that was a secret. Pokemon is in the Legend of Zelda world. That is ditto. It was a different time, okay? If there were a mod to turn everybody into orcs, I would do Ocarina of Time. I can't use the hook shot, but I've called Empty Bladder out here. Why am I referring to this scarecrow as Empty Bladder? Because his name is Pierre. Oh my god, you're putting me in a foul mood. Hi, Saria. You died. I'm sorry you died, and now you're a sage. I think the chicken drowned. Nope, it didn't. Okay, good. Good. Oh, you get back here. Oh, you get back here. You get back here. I'm not finished with you. You're gonna get abused, and you're gonna like it. Wait. Oh, that looked like it went in. Aha! That's what she said. I'll just come scare you again. I hate that fucking dog bark. I wish I had done that so much faster. Me playing it back, I just sound like a kindergartner learning the recorder for the first time. No! I got both heart containers. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm fine. I'm not coping. This is not me coping. Okay, I'm fine. I'm actually fine. Oh my god. So I can't actually, like, take her anywhere, and I can't throw her that high. I fucking can! I'm a liar! Why am I even speaking? Ah! No! No! Oh my god.